Jai Hind all of you. Myself Nishu Bansal, and today welcome to the third lecture on database management system. That is, we will be studying about the ER diagrams, entity relationship diagrams. This are the outline for today's lecture, that is overview of database design process. Then we will look into the example database application of company. Then we will see the various ER model concepts. Finally, we will see at the ER diagram notations that are being used, and we will look at the final ER diagram for the company schema. Now, overview of the database design process. Basically, when we look for the creation of any application, we have two main activities, that is the database design and the application design. In this particular course on DBMS, our focus would be on the database design. So, we have to design the conceptual schema for a database application. The applications design, basically they focus on the program and the interface that is required to access the database. So, we are not focusing on the application design over here, we will look into the database design. So, this is actually the part of the software engineering. So, here we have an example of the company database, that is we need to create a database schema design based upon the following simplified requirements of the company. So, we have, when the people of the database designers, they get into a conversation with the company people, these are the points they jot down while they are discussing regarding the company database. That is, the company is organized into departments, and each department has a name, number and employee who manages the department. So, we keep track of the start date of the department manager. A department may have several locations also. So, a department may be located at various locations. So, each department controls a number of projects, and each project has a unique name, a unique number and a location where, a single location where it is being located. So, here the example of the company database, further we look at into, we store the details regarding the employees also. That is, we store the social security number of the employees, its address, then salary, sex and the birth date. Each employee works for one department and can work on, these are the main highlight points which the database designer would take into consideration while designing for the database. So, we will keep track of the number of hours per week that an employee currently works on for each of the project. So, further they would also keep track of the direct supervisor of each employee, that is under whom the particular employee is working. Then this each employee may have a number of dependents also. So, this particular database that we are going to design, for that we will keep track of the record of the dependents also. So, for each dependent we will keep track of the name, sex and the birth date and relationship to the employee. So, ER model concept is basically where we take into consideration all these things. First, we will look into the entities and the various attributes for each entity. So, entities are specific objects or the things in the mini world that represented in the database. So, for example, employee is an entity, as we have done in the previous lecture also. For example, John Smith is a type of employee. Then research department, the project can be the product X. So, these are the examples of entities. So, attributes are the properties which are used to describe the entities. For example, the employee entity may have the attributes name, SSN number, address, sex and the birth date. This is the specific entity which have the following values, that is, for a particular employee John Smith, we have SSN number, address, then his address and birth date. So, these would be the specific entity entries for the entity, that is the employee. Now, each attribute has a value set or data type associated with it, that is the type of data that we can store in this, such as integer, string, subrange, enumerated type. Then let us look at the various types of attributes that we can represent for any particular entity. we can have is the simple attributes, that is for example the entity can have single atomic values for the attribute. For say we take into SSN number or female, male, a person can be a male or a female. Then composite attributes. Composite attributes are the attributes which may be composed of several components. So we have to take into consideration all the kinds of attributes. So here for say address, the address of a person can be composed of various sub attributes such as apartment number, house, street, city, state, zip code, country. Then name can be first name, middle name, last name. Then composition may form a hierarchy where some components are themselves, further they can be composite. Then third category of attributes we have is the multi-valued attributes. Multi-valued attributes is the attributes which can take more than one values. So they can have multiple values. For example, we can have the color of a car. It can take more than one value. Then previous degree of a student. For say the student has done various degrees, then it can also be more than one values. So they are multi-valued. And do remember that such kind of attributes, they are represented using the curly braces. Then going further, we can have is the combination of both composite as well as the multi-valued attributes. They can be nested arbitrarily to any number of levels through, although this is very rare, we basically try to be having attributes which are atomic attributes. For example, the previous degree of a student is a composite multi-valued attribute which is denoted by previous degree, then the college, year, degree and the field in which the person has passed. For example, a person has done BTech, MTech, PhD. So they may be having further, they are applying for the postgraduate. So they may be having various previous degrees. So multiple previous degree values can exist. Each has 4 component attributes, that is these are what we have talked about. Then entity types and key attributes. Entities with the same basic attributes are grouped or typed into entity type. That is, if we are talking about the employees, the several employees in an organization, they are like entity type. For example, entity type employee and project. Then attribute of an entity type for which each entity must have a unique value. Now within the entity type, I want to differentiate among various instances of the employees. So they would be having certain attributes which are unique to them to identify them. For example, employee ID, that would be uniquely identifying all the employees within an organization. So this is called the key attribute of the entity type. So here SSN, that is a social security number of the employee, can be the key attribute. Then key attribute may be composite also, that is it may be composed of more than one attribute. Vehicle tag number is a key of the car entity type with the components number and the state to which that particular vehicle belongs. So an entity type may have more than one key. The car entity type may have 2 keys. For example, one is the vehicle identification number, that is popularly known as VIN, and the vehicle tag number, that is number state, or it is also called the license plate number. So in the particular ER diagram, we identify the keys with the underline. We would always underline those attributes which are identified as key through the underline. Now how we display an entity type in the ER diagrams? So it is displayed in the rectangular box. Attributes are displayed in ovals. So each attribute is connected to its entity type. Components of a composite attribute are connected to the oval representing the composite attribute. Each key attribute is underlined. So multi-valued attributes are displayed using the double ovals. So here we have is a simple car example where we have is various attributes of car which are represented within the oval. Here color is a multi-valued attribute, so we have represented it using the double oval. And registration, vehicle ID, these are the keys, so they are represented using underline. Then these are the various instances for, say, we have specific cars ABC 1 2 3, these, and plus if we have two numbers similar, they may be having the different states. So no two vehicles can be same, registration cannot be same. So let's talk about the entity set also. So each entity type must have a collection of entities. It's like we don't have, rarely we have a single value or a single row for a particular entity. There may be various entries. So these all collection of entities, they are stored in the database. They are called the entity sets. So previous slide shows 3 of the car entity instances in the entity set of for the car. The same name car used to refer to both the entity type and the entity set. So entity set is the current state. At present, how many entities are there within a particular set of that type which is stored in the database. So initially when we are designing, we have taken for the company database, we have identified these would be the attributes, that is department, project, employee, dependent. So let's see their initial design. So these are the initial designs for the various entities. For the department, we would be having the name of the department, number, location, manager, and the manager start date when he has started managing this particular department. For the project, we have is the project number, name, location, and the controlling department. Then employee, we have identified these attributes, that is the name, SSN, salary, works on, supervisor, address, department, birth date, and the works underscore on. Here we have taken it as to be the attribute. Here it is actually multi-valued. A person can work on various projects, so we have shown it through the double oval. And here name, it is a composite attribute, so its sub attributes would be like branching. Then dependent would be dependent upon a particular employee, so here we have made the employee as the attribute of this. But still the initial design is not a perfect design, we need to refine it. So we refine it by introducing the relationships. So here what we have is some aspects in the requirement, that is when a database designer is talking to the company for which they are designing the database, they take into from that particular requirements whatever they are telling, they find the relationships. In the ER model, as we have seen, the entities, attributes, and finally we have is the relationships. Relationships and relationship types. A relationship relates two or more distinct entities with a specific meaning. For example, employee John Smith works on the product X project, or employee Franklin Wong manages the research department. So here they have a relation. Why this particular employee is connected to the department? Because he manages the research department. Similarly, the employee John Smith is connected to the product X project because he works on that particular project. So this works on, manages, this is showing the relationship between two entities. So relationships of the same type are grouped or typed into a relationship type. For example, the works underscore on relationship type, in which employees and projects participate, or manages relationship type, in which the employees and department participate. So here the degree of a relationship type is the number of participating entities. So we can say here works underscore on relationship, two entities, that is employee and the project are participating, so the degree would be 2. So for in both manages and works underscore on, they are the binary relationships. So here is a Venn diagram which shows the relationship instances of the works underscore on for the n:1 relationship, that is many employees, n represents that many employees can work on a single department. So that is called the n:1 relationship. So this is showing the each instance within the works underscore for, it is showing the relationship, that is E1 works in D1, so their relationship is R1. So for each pair we would be having a different instance in the works underscore for. So here is an example, another example in which we are showing M is to N relationship, that is many employees can work in many projects. That is, for say as we look in the E2, here E2 is working in P1 also, as well as it is working in, we can say, P4 also. So we have shown it through two different relations in the works underscore on. So this is how the relationships are defined. Relationship type versus relationship set. Relationship type is a schema description of a relationship, identifies a relationship name, then the participating entity type. It also identifies certain relationship constraints. Whereas relationship set, it is a current set of relationship instances represented in the database, the current state of the relationship type. So previous figures, they displayed the relationship sets. Each instance in the set relates individual participating entities, one from each participating entity type. So in the ER diagram we represent the relationship type as follows. We use the diamond shaped box to represent the relationship type, connected to the participating entities through the straight line. Then further refining, we know by examining the requirements that 6 relationship types are identified. These are the binary relationships, so we listed down them. That is, we have is the works underscore for, which is between employee and the department, then manages, which is between employee and again department, because one of the employee would be managing the department, then controls, between the department and the project, then works underscore on, between the employee and the project, then supervision, it is between employee, that is it is like a recursive, we will look into what is recursive relationships. It's between the employee with another employee, that is a subordinate that would be under certain supervisor. Dependents underscore off, that is between the employee and the dependents. So in the refined database design, some attributes from the initial entity type are refined into relationships. Manager of department is now would be one who would be manages. Works underscore on of employee, which we have taken it as to be the attribute of employee, as if you remember, then it is now would be the relationship, that is work underscore on. Department of the employee would be works underscore for. So in general, more than one relationship type can exist between the same participating entity types. So here manages and works underscore for, they are two distinct relationship type, but they are between the same entities, that is employee and the department. Different meanings and different relationship instances can be there. Now one of the most important is the recursive relationship type, the relationship type who's with the same participating entities type, that is one entity is in relationship with itself, so we give them distinct roles. Example, the supervision relationship, employee participates twice in the two distinct role, as a supervisor, the person who is the boss, and the supervisee, that is a subordinate role. So each relationship instance relates to distinct employee entities. One employee is in supervisor role and one employee is in the supervisee role. Then next category of entity types we have is the weak entity type. Sometimes we need to represent them also. So basically, as we have seen that an entity should have a key attribute to uniquely identify the entities, but there can be certain entities they don't have any key attribute, then such an entities are said to be the weak entity types. So a weak entity must participate in an identifying relationship type with an owner or the identifying entity type. Entities are identified by the combination of, then such kind of entities, they would be uniquely identified using a partial key of the weak entity type or the particular entity that are related to the identifying entity type. Example, a dependent entity is identified by the dependent's first name, the specific employee with whom the dependent is related. So first name of the dependent plus the employee. For say employee may be having the dependents, his wife, his children. So in the dependent we would be entering the details regarding the wife, children. So we will be identifying each through their first name plus the employee ID. The name of the dependent is a partial key. Dependent is a weak entity type here. We will look into how we represent the dependent entity. Employee is its identifying entity type. That is the identifying relationship type dependent underscore of. Because why it is called identifying entity type? Because in case if the employee leaves that particular organization, then no longer the dependent entity would be there. So it's the employee who is identifying that particular dependent. Then we can have constraints or certain restrictions also on the relationship. These are also called the ratio constraints. That is how many attributes, or we can say how many entities of a particular entity type can be in relationship to other entity type. Cardinality ratio specifies maximum participation. As we have seen, 1:1, 1:many, many:1, many:many. Existence dependency constraints that specifies the minimum participation, also called the participation constraint. So person can be in a particular entity, can be in relation with other entity, it can have zero participation. This is also called optional participation or not existence dependent. Then they may be having one or more, that is a mandatory participation, that is a entity would definitely would be participating that particular relation. Existence dependent. So what are the notations we use for the constants on the relationship? First, cardinality ratio of a binary relation, we know it is represented using the ratio that we use in the maths, that is 1:1, 1:n, n:1, m:n. It's shown by placing appropriate numbers on the relationship edge. Then participation constraint on each participating entity type is to total, called the existence dependency or the partial. Total is shown using the double if they have total participation, and if it is having partial participation, it would be shown using the single line. Note these are easy to specify for the binary relationship types. Second type of notation we can have is the min max notation for the relationship constraints. That is, here we can see we have a pair, that is how much a department can participate. So it's on the alternate side we are writing. So here what we have is they can be having 0 or 1 max. So here manages department employee, they have to participate, so minimum participation is 1 and maximum can also be 1. So this is another, that is for say each department should have at least 1. So 1:1, and for the employee we have is 1:n. So attributes of the relationship type. A relationship type can have attributes. For example, we can have for the work underscore on relationship, we can have hours per week as the attribute. Its value for each relationship instance describes the number of hours per week that an employee works on a particular project. So here a value of hours per week depends on a particular employee project combination. So most relationship attributes are used with m:n relationship. in 1:n relationship, they can be transferred to the entity type on the n side in that case. So here we have is the various notation before we go for the ER diagram. We represent the entity using a single rectangle. Then weak entities are represented using the double rectangles. Relationships are represented using the diamond. Identifying relationships are represented using the double diamonds. Attribute using ovals. Key attributes are represented using oval and underline. Multi-valued attributes, double oval. Composite attribute, we have the sub attributes are shown like the branches. Then derived attributes, which we can derive using the dashed. Then total participation of, here we have is E2 having total participation in R through a double line, and single participation or partial participation through a single line. Then cardinality ratio for E1 is to E2, 1 is to R. Then structural constant, that is mean max on participation of E in R, mean comma max. So here is a full-fledged diagram for the ER for the company database. That is, let's see how we have drawn this, what all attributes we have and the entities. The major entities that we know we have is the employee, then we have is department, project, dependents. So we have taken 4 entities in this. For the employee, we have the attributes as we have seen earlier, that is name, birth date, SSN number. SSN is shown using underline, that means it is a key attribute that would be uniquely identifying each employee in an organization. Then salary, sex, then what we have is department entity. In the department entity, we have the attributes name, number, location. Then project we have is name, number, location, where name and number are shown using the underline because they would be the key attributes. Here we look into the dependent. Now dependent rectangle is different from other 3 entities. Why it is different? It is shown using double rectangle. So this is how we identify. This is a weak entity. So these are the strong entities as they have is the key attribute, whereas dependent is a weak entity because it does not have any key attribute, but though it has a partial key attribute, that is a name of the dependent. Okay, this is how we identify the weak entities from the strong entities. Then this particular employee is in relationship with the department through a diamond is used for showing the relationships. Here works underscore for is a relationship which shows that this employee, it works for this particular department. So here if we are using the cardinality ratio, then for one employee can work in, so there can be one employee, we write in the reverse opposite, that is employee working for the department. A department can have many employees, so his cardinality is written on the other side. Now double line is showing the total participation, that is in the works underscore for each employee should be related to some department, so it's a total participation. So for that we have shown is the double line. Here department also we have shown it through the double line because here each department should have the employees. So this is how we show the total participation. Now we can have derived attributes also, that is the number of employees in a particular department. Then second type of relationship between these 2 entities can be manages. So here if we look at employee manages the department. So here a department may or may not have a boss, a person who is managing that particular department. So here employee is having a partial participation, whereas each department would be there, the department would be having double or lines, or we can say it has a total participation. Now recursive relationship, how we show the recursive relationships. In this case we have the supervision as a relationship. In this case the supervisor supervises the supervisee. So this is in the same entity type, that is the employee. So here supervisor is shown on one side and supervisee is shown on another side. Now let's see, a supervisor can supervise many supervisees, so his cardinality is shown here. Similarly supervisee can only be under one supervisor. Okay, now last we have is the dependence of, here this particular is a identifying relationship, so we have shown it using double diamond. So it is in total participation with dependent. Why? Because if employee is not there, then there would be no dependent entity for that particular employee. So this is how we draw the ER diagrams. Thank you so much for this particular lecture.